Good morning, fellow Spelljammers and Planeswalkers and Lance Dragoners and Cthulhu victims and whatever else is going on. It's Monday. It's about 8:30 in the morning. It's the 25th day of April 2022. It's 60 degrees and sunny here at Site B. It's baseball season. Let's go Dodgers. And we've got some news regarding the world of tabletop role-playing games. So let's dive into all the news, weather, sports, and general internet nonsense that is role-playing. And, of course, the number one story is Ezra Miller got arrested in Hawaii. No, that's not the number one story. The number one story is Spelljammer being announced by Wizards of the Coast as a product that they're going to be doing in August. And, oh, my giddy aunt, the amount of ugliness this announcement has produced is interesting, sad, annoying, understandable, ridiculous, and we all know within 4 weeks we're going to stop talking about it, so whatever. But apparently people are upset on both sides, which is weird, that this is the choice Hasbro / Wizards of the Coast made for their big reveal. I don't know if it was a big reveal. They've only been hinting at it for about 5 years, and we've only known they're going to do it for about 3 years, so I don't know how big of a reveal this is. But this was the big surprise. We're doing Spelljammer and Dragonlance. Anybody who's been paying attention, it wasn't surprised, but I guess people were surprised and angry, so yeah, we had this Wizards of the Coast thing on Friday where they announced all their plans for the summer. Noticeably missing from the announcements were any of the Magic the Gathering product lines, which I actually found kind of weird. Instead, we've got a new skirmish game coming out. Nobody cares, but the figures will be cool and the maps will be cool. We've got an announcement for the Dungeons & Dragons movie. It's now called Dungeons & Dragons Honor Among Thieves, which is, yeah, nobody cares. That's a straight-to-video, straight-to-DVD, the Dungeons & Dragons movie, starring Hugh Grant as the villain. We had some announcements served for some more maps and other physical products to make gaming easier. No one cares. We had an announcement for the figures that are coming out for Spelljammer. Both the biggies are an Astral Dragon and the Astral Dreadnought. Those are going to be big, old, $100 figures that will look interesting, I guess. I think the dragon's pre-painted, but I don't think the Astral Dreadnought is. And nobody cares. We had the announcement of whatever it is they're doing with Dragonlance. That got people upset. How dare you do Dragonlance? Well, there was a huge lawsuit last year. Don't you remember? And Margaret Weiss and Tracy Hickman chose to abandon the lawsuit with prejudice, which means they could revisit it. And based upon what we're hearing, this would be a good excuse for Tracy and Margaret to revisit the lawsuit against Wizards of the Coast. But there was a lawsuit, and they dropped it, and then they made a book. And then Wizards of the Coast is doing a very weird version of Dragonlance, and Kender are now Feywild and not little curious thieves anymore. And apparently people are upset about that. And supposedly Jeff Grubb, one of the creators of Spelljammer, and Margaret Weiss, one of the creators of Dragonlance, have posted that they were not consulted or even asked about Dragonlance and Spelljammer. And they don't, Margaret's gone on to say, supposedly this is Margaret. We don't know if it actually is Margaret because, Twitter. How are they making that they changed Kender's and why? And, I guess she's upset that they didn't consult her about Dragonlance. And Jeff Grubb's like, you didn't ask me anything about Dragonlance. And people are like, how dare you, Wizards of the Coast, not talk to the people who created a product? And yes, it is awful, and it does suck. I don't know if those individuals are going to get credit in the book or not. I would think there would at least be some credit to Margaret and Tracy in the Dragonlance book, but I don't know about Jeff getting credit for Spelljammer or not. He might. I bet you there'll be Easter eggs referring all those individuals. And it sucks, and everybody's upset, and apparently those individuals are upset of the direction they're taking the product line. But you know what? I hate to say it, but Wizards of the Coast didn't have to ask them. They were all work for hire. They, Wizards of the Coast should have consulted them, used them as consultants, but they didn't have to. It's their thing, and they can do whatever they want with it. And if they don't want to acknowledge the previous individuals who had anything to do with it, they don't have to. Again, it sucks and it's stupid, but also, I hate to be a filthy Wizards of the Coast apologist, but there's no good answer to this, because let's say they did consult Jeff about Spelljammer or Margaret and Tracy about Dragonlance. We know from the way the Twitter wokeverse attacks Wizards of the Coast with every move they make, and we know with these false 5e fans like Genie D and JSG and these other ones who attack Wizards of the Coast with every step they make, that if Wizards of the Coast did reach out to, say, Tracy Hickman, there would be a landslide of negative commentary from both the SJW woke Twitterverse for how dare you can consult this problematic individual on our beloved product, Dragonlance, because, he was one of the people who were around in the 80s, and therefore he worked for TSR, and therefore he's racist. So how dare you consult this problematic individual, Tracy Hickman, who we know is an awful, horrible human being because he worked for TSR in the 80s. And we know the individuals who claim they're 5e fans but really aren't, Mark Holmes and Garrity and these idiots, are going to say, how dare you consult Tracy Hickman about Dragonlance? This is our Dragonlance. We need to bring In fact, one of them just literally said, you need to bring Dragonlance and the old titles into 5e and ignore the previous Dragonlance stuff. So one of these people who claim they love 5e and claim they love Wizards of the Coast and claim they love everything that Wizards of the Coast does said, ignore the past. Bring it into the 5e present. Don't consult the individuals. How dare you even think about the fact that there were people who were responsible for the creation of this beloved product. So it sucks that Wizards of the Coast didn't consult them, but also if they had consulted them, they would have been attacked. So there's no right answer. So I guess to defend Wizards of the Coast, they made the best choices they could, which were release the products and then probably acknowledge the creators. We haven't seen Dragonlance or Spelljammer, what it actually is going to look like on the inside. So how do we know there's not a dedication or acknowledgement of those individuals in the product? We're just upset that they weren't consulted. And while Wizards of the Coast didn't have to consult them, they should have. It would have been nice. They didn't have to. And really, if they did consult them, you and I both know that they would have been attacked from both of these sides, where the actual 5e players and the individuals who don't care, like myself, are we don't care. All right, moving on. So yes, Spelljammer. And Spelljammer looks weird because it doesn't look like they're doing it as a role-playing game. It looks like it's a skirmish game. They're talking about how it's a war game. So I'd hold off the Spelljammer decisions for a while. And as for, the Dragonlance ideas for a while. Dragonlance looks like they're going to make it a skirmish game. I'm sorry. And as for Spelljammer, well, on paper, it is the perfect setting for the direction Wizards of the Coast thinks D&D should go. You got an infinite number of planets, therefore you have an infinite number of options for player races, and if you want a planet populated by 6-foot-tall halflings, you can have one in reason space. It's a silly setting anyway, so people are like, oh, they're going to make it worse. How can they make it more silly than it already is? Oh, they might put in a shopping mall. Who cares if there's a planet of shopping malls? Secretly you think that's a cool idea. Who cares if there's going to be LGBTQT, whatever? Who cares? It's a silly setting anyways. It literally has giant hamsters. Did anything else happen this week besides 5e and this announcement? Oh, God. Dragonlance, Dungeon Heart. The starter set. Yeah, there's also a starter set coming out. People have been wondering about the new starter set, whether the characters in the starter set are the kids from the Dungeons and Dragons cartoon. And the response is yes, they are, and no, they're not. Let's face it, they are the kids from the Dungeons & Dragons cartoon grown up. We're not going to see stats for Venger or Hank or those guys. They're just some pictures, and they're sort of an homage to the 80s. And yeah, whatever, who cares? If we don't get stats for them, I don't think anybody cares. And if you think about it, it's sort of tragic, because you always thought when the show ended that they still had a chance to go home once Dungeon Master and Venger resolved their stupid family feud. In fact, there is an unofficial last episode cartoon out there that was made by the fans that uses unaired stuff and some other stuff to explain the ending, and that the kids did get to go back home. Well, tragically, according to the cover of the new Dungeons & Dragons starter set box set, they're still trapped in that nightmare. And just for a sec, and let us just remember, Dungeon Master could have sent them home at any point in time. I know everybody who watches their cartoon thinks he's the hero and he's helping the kids, but no, really, if you think about it and you watch the cartoon again, you realize Dungeon Master could have sent those kids home at any point in time, and he was using them as scapegoats so he did not have to directly confront his issues with Venger, who was his son. So yeah, it's not that great. And the Dark Souls thing. Okay, let's move away from Dungeons & Dragons to another company that's in some trouble. The release of the Dark Souls role-playing game was hugely problematic, filled with contradictions, misnamed classes, missing rules, spelling mistakes, editing mistakes, stuff like that. So if you have a copy of the Dark Souls role-playing game, send it back to Steamforged, and they will send you the new re-edited version for free, as long as you can prove it's yours. So keep those receipts and send it back to Steamforged, and once they finish editing it and fixing all the mistakes, they will send you a new copy for free, which is what Wizards of the Coast should have done with Dungeons & Dragons 3 and Dungeons & Dragons 3.5. So good on you, Steamforged. Good on you. If there's nothing else good we can take out of the news this week for role-playing, it's this, that Steamforged is accepting the fact that they made major mistakes. Apparently, they let the monkeys put this out, and they are apologizing, and they will send you a brand new one free of charge. Yay! There's some new stuff coming out for Shadowrun 6th edition. Really, it's on 6th edition, all right? It's a campaign book called The Third Parallel. It's around for $20. It's a 168-page adventure. I'm sure we'll have more information on this on Wednesday when we discuss upcoming products. Yay! There's also a Paradox Interactive announced the trilogy Shadowrun video game developed by Harebrained will be coming to consoles. So we'll get, for the PlayStation, the Xbox, the Nintendo, everything else, this trilogy of Shadowrun video games. So if you want to play in the Shadowrun universe and do video games, there you go. That was exhausting. Jesus Christ. Talking about Wizards of the Coast and this nonsense could give you a frickin' migraine. Whew. Let's talk about something good. Exchange bundle time. Bundle time. Yes. Bundles, freebie, and sales news for the week. Yes. Pigface Games released a Peasants and Pitchforks, an OSR role-playing game with emphasis on imagination and speed play. The 64-page PDF comes with 3 introductory adventures. The price is free. So go to Pigface Games and pick up the PDF for their new game, Peasants and Pitchforks. From Savage Worlds, we have Knight Errant released a free Jumpstart edition of Titan Effect, a tactical espionage science fiction setting with psionics for Savage Worlds. It's available at the Knight Errant game. That was my name. Knight Errant Publishing. I guess I should have copyrighted that when I had the chance. Anyways, it's a free PDF for a new game for Savage Worlds. There's a new generic role-playing system called 1D12 Go. It's a simple task resolution using the 1D12. Full system takes about 20 pages. And it's free over at Brad Zimmerman's site, or I guess DriveThru. These are probably all available on DriveThru. There is a new World of Darkness book called Darker Ages with guidance for playing Vampire the Masquerade 5th edition in other time periods. This is available over at the World of Darkness various sites for pay what you want. Suggested price $3.20. There's a company called Faraz Quashiri. What? Faraz Quaraishi. I don't know if that's an individual name or a company name. We have some stuff for Vampire the Masquerade 5th edition set in New York City. This is pay what you want, suggested $2. It's over on the, Dungeon Drive-Thru RPG and the sites that are supporting Vampire the Masquerade 5th edition. The DM's Guild has an adventure up from Michael Junker called Wake of Decay, an adventure in the open seas. That's pay what you want, suggested $3. And if you're looking for more weapons and armor for your 5e game, we have Advanced Weapons and Armor by Mangus Heyman for 5e. This is also over at the Dungeon Masters Guild, and all these can usually be found on Drive-Thru as well. Following bundles are available. D&D Beyond has launched their spring sale with a 20% off discount on all source books as they move forward towards the highly anticipated Spelljammer. 20% off all selected products. The sale ends at the 1st of May. The DM Guild is running a best of print sale featuring 10% off a selection of their best number one selling titles, including Thay, Land of the Red Wizards, Red Hand of Doom, Against the Cult of the Reptile God, and other thing. This sale's running through May 2nd, 10% off the selected prices, so go to the Dungeon Masters Guild to check it out. The Melodies and Magic bundle collects over 25 different supplements for bards to add more to your music game. So if you're looking for more stuff for bards, here's a PDF available for $37. Yeah, no, nobody's going to pay $37 for a PDF on bards. I'm sorry. We have a Once Upon a Time in France bundle for World of Darkness. This is $5. You can get this over at the World of Darkness Cent. We have for a bundle collection called the Generic Adventure Bundle. This is a collection of 6 different adventures for different sittings, and they are system neutral. This is over at Penguin Comics, and it's $5. Mothership has another new free one out. It's called $50 for $50 for a Xeno horror bundle featuring 15 adventures with terrifying alien encounters. This can be found over at the Mothership site or Drive-Thru. Steve Jackson Games is offering a T-shirt featuring art from Munchkin and Dark Tower. This bundle goes to support World Central Kitchen. So basically, you're paying $25 for a T-shirt, and you support World Central Kitchen. Interesting. $25 for a T-shirt. Okay. Bundle of Holding has a Hostel bundle, which gives you everything you need to run Deep Space Horror in the Cephirus engine. It's $10 for this bundle. It goes to support Direct Relief and includes a ton of stuff for the Cephirus engine in Deep Space Horror. So think Mothership, but for a different system. Another bundle of holding is the Old School Treasures bundle, featuring recent books from the Old School Essentials line. It includes everything you need to play Old School Essentials. It's $10. It goes to support Direct Relief. And considering how difficult it is to get OSE stuff directly from the publisher, this might be a good way to get the PDFs. The collection of Sly Flourish's Lazy Dungeon Master stuff, including the Lazy Dungeon Master, Return to the Lazy Dungeon Master, etc., along with boss battles, fantastic adventures, and locations, is $10. It's still going on, and it goes to support Direct Relief. Modifius's Conan the Adventures of Ages Undreamed Of bundle is over at Bundle of Holding, and it's $10. This sale ends on April, and it goes to support Roll versus Evil. You know it's caffeine time because I'm starting to slur my words. Blah, 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 blah. Rubber baby bunky bubbers. The Black Library is partnered with Humble Bumble for Tales of the Space Marine charter bundles set in the world of Warhammer. This is a ton of stuff for Warhammer 40K for $10. This goes to support the Every Library Institute. And that's this week's news for bundles, and that's this week's news for D&D. I will probably do a editorial about this Spelljammer Dragonlance bullshit. Once again, the creators of Spelljammer and Dragonlance were not consulted by Wizards of the Coast. A lot of individuals are upset because they didn't consult Margaret and Tracy and Jeff, but also, one, they didn't have to, which sucks, but they don't. And two, you and I know that if they did, it would have been nothing but problematic. I'm literally reading right now about people who are saying you need to bring 5th into today's D&D, and you need to bring Spelljammer and Dragonlance into today's D&D and ignore the past. And F you, those people who made stuff in the 80s, because they worked for TSR, and we know TSR was a horrible company that, promoted racism and sexism and homophobia and all that other stuff these idiots claim. Should be noticed that the actual 5e players, like my friend Jen and my friend Amara and my friend Chris, don't care. The actual people who are playing 5e don't care what Wizards of the Coast is doing. They're literally like, I don't care. Anyways, that's the news, weather, and sports addressing the role-playing game world this week. That's 21 minutes of me talking about Spelljammer, which is far too much, and we have a feeling we're going to talk about it a lot more before this latest amount of nonsense ends, because you and I also know that this is all going to end in like 3 weeks, just like all the upsetness over Mordenkainen and Strixhaven and all the others. You're just going to forget it and move on to the next thing we're angry about. So, yeah. Anyways, I've been your guide to all the tabletop role-playing games, news, weather, sports, and general internet nonsense that is the OGGM. If you appreciate this content, let me know. If you don't appreciate this content, let me know, because I can't fix it if you don't tell me what's wrong. If you haven't had a chance to support the OGGM adventures, now is your time. You could subscribe, support, whatever, all the other ways you can support me going forward. We're coming up on the summer, so yeah, it's a great time to jump on that OGGM bandwagon. And until next time, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, and children of all ages, I will leave you with the immortal words, get off my land, you damn kids and your damn space whale. Just look at me, I'm riding a space whale. I'm cool.